I'm Sarah Borkson-Keto, and I'm here in Dallas for NAREIT's REITworld 2017. I'm joined today by Arlen Nordhagen, President and CEO of National Storage Affiliates. Welcome, Arlen.
Thank you, Sarah.
So has the pace of acquisitions shifted between the first and the second half of the year?
Yes, we've definitely seen a pickup as our acquisition volume has speeded from the first quarter. We were really slow, but both in the third quarter and the fourth quarter so far, we've seen a real pickup in acquisition volume.
And what would you attribute that to?
I think the biggest thing is that early in the year there were a lot of sellers that were wondering what was going to happen with the tax law changes, and they were also expecting a continuation of really strong pricing and declining cap rates. And so there was a disconnect between buyers and sellers on the cap rate side, and then there was a wait and see attitude by the sellers. And both of those have come around in the second half. I think people have just kind of given up on the idea of the tax law, knowing what's going to happen there, and just kind of settled in with that. And then on the cap rate numbers, we've seen that come back to a closing of the gap where the cap rates have pretty much come back to last year or even slightly increased from a year ago.
And looking ahead, do you expect to be able to perform above historical averages?
We do in general. Now, the long-term historical averages in self-storage are for strong, about 4% revenue growth, 5% NOI growth per year on a same-store basis. And we have had much higher than that in the last few years. We are coming down to more leveling in that kind of level. We feel like NSA will be able to do slightly above the long-term averages because we keep implementing new programs. But overall, we think the industry will come pretty much coming down to the long-term averages and stay around that level as we see new supply coming online.
Right, and I was going to ask you about supply because 2017 has been a big construction year. What impact will that have next year, do you think?
Well, that's probably been the single biggest reason for the declining same-store NOI growth. You know, we're seeing continued growth in same-store NOI, but instead of the 10% type numbers that we were seeing a couple of years ago, you know, we're now seeing numbers down in the low to mid single digits. Our last quarter we were up about 6.7% on same-store NOI, and pretty much our whole industry has seen that coming down more towards the long-term averages of around 5%. I think is about the industry average right now.
Well, thanks very much, Arlen.
Thank you.
And for more on NAREIT's REITworld, visit our website, REIT.com.